Welcome back to Philippines Uncut. I'm Buddy Conan. Tonight's topic is Discover Kendo. And joining us are still are the guys from the Manila Kendo Club, Jojo Serena and Ricky Cruz. They're both black belts, multiple dan black belts in Kendo. So this is the segment we've been waiting for. I want us to talk about what you guys are wearing, and then followed by a little demonstration. So take it away, guys.
Okay.
What is this outfit? Let's
well,
go.
I'm going to use Ricky as a model here. Okay. So what Ricky is wearing is underneath we have the kendogi, the top portion.
Kendogi.
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 Kendogi. The top portion of
Kimono-like outfit.
like, yeah.
And it's made of cotton, I think.
Yeah,
like
it's cotton,
fabric.
and it's dyed with indigo
Okay.
because the blue is actually antibacterial. It keeps it
Okay.
hygienic. No?
Okay.
And then the bottom part of the uniform is actually a pair of pants that are very wide. This is called the hakama.
Hakama.
Hakama. They're very wide pants,
Okay.
so that it gives you a lot of freedom in movement. And that's pretty much also the Japanese wear. No?
This is very traditional.
Yeah, very
what Ricky's
traditional.
wearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on top of that, the most obvious part is Ricky's do. We call this the do, or the chest protector.
Okay.
It protects the front part of the body and as well as the sides.
Yeah.
And then under that we have the tare protector. This is the tare, so it protects the bottom half. No?
Okay. From
and-
strike. So this is also to protect the
yeah,
hips.
because you
maybe
can
like
get
that.
hit here,
Yeah.
or maybe in front you get bumped from the front. No, so
In-
that protects.
In
you.
Kendo, can you hit anywhere in the body, or there are just certain parts where it's
There
allowed?
are specific targets.
Okay.
And if you hit outside of those targets, it's meaningless. You don't get any points. So
Okay.
There's no point in doing it.
Okay.
Okay. So and then we have the headgear.
Okay.
This is what we call the men. Men actually also refers to the head portion. So this is like very close to the fencing mask. No, it protects
Does
the
it
head
does look yum?
and
Yum.
the face with this metal grill.
It looks very sturdy. I mean, even the sides.
Oh,
no, and
yeah,
very
yeah.
and it has a lot of protection here in the shoulder and neck
Right.
area. How come? Are you allowed to strike here? In Kendo?
They miss.
No, you're not. But sometimes when you hit on the head, it slides and it
Ouch.
goes down to the
Ouch.
shoulder.
Yeah, to
So
the
there's a shoulder protector.
Collarbone and
Yeah.
there you go.
And if you look here, this is another target. This is called the ski, or the throat.
Yeah.
It protects the throat because the throat is a target.
Okay.
Yeah, you can stab it.
So the arms aren't a target, but the throat is a
That's
target.
the softest part of the softest part. This part,
Yeah.
this part, and then the joints in the wrist.
Are you allowed
Right.
to
Thrust.
pierce, to thrust with in Kendo?
Yes, yes.
You
with
are.
at the throat. Yeah.
Okay, but how about the torso? Are you allowed to thrust in the torso? Here.
This
Well, no, you're allowed to cut here on the sides
Okay.
because this part of the body, there's no bone. So if you slice through
Okay.
that, it'll open everything up.
Okay, and then of course you have to protect your hands.
Yes.
Because
The hand is also a legitimate target, the wrist, in fact.
okay.
So because it's the part of the body that's holding the sword,
Yeah.
by targeting the hand, you disable the sword. Okay? So this is the kote. So, and just to summarize, the main targets of
Yeah.
in Kendo, the main targets are the head, the men,
Yeah.
called the men, the kote,
Kote,
the
yeah.
wrist, the do on the side,
On the side.
and then the throat, the ski. We call this ski.
Wow.
Okay, just 4. That's
yeah.
all.
He seems pretty well armored. I mean, it looks like very sturdy stuff. And
Yeah.
Very well built, and
Yes,
you
yeah.
withstand a hell of a whack now with this.
Yeah,
But
pretty good.
does it hurt? Like when you guys? I mean, do you guys go all out in Kendo? Do you really?
You have to go 100%.
like 100% power, really. There's no hold. I mean, you guys don't hold back when you spar.
Yeah, it's 100% power, but you don't need 100% commitment.
It's not a brutal attack.
Yeah, it's not. It's really just a snap of the
wrist.
Does it
sword.
hurt when you
Not
spar at
anymore.
times?
Before when I started,
In
it
the
would,
beginning, it takes some.
but after a while, it's okay. I'm immune to the pain.
You know, the Arnis guys look like they have more armor because I mean, despite the fact that it is really quite sturdier armor, there are a lot of places where you're open.
You're
like
open, yeah.
the arms and then
Right,
things like
right.
that, and like some careless shot, it could still hurt. No?
It's okay.
Yeah.
There's very little padding except on the fingers, maybe.
Okay, let's talk about the swords.
Okay,
I
so-
can see you're holding two types of swords.
Okay,
There's
let me-
there's this A solid wooden one.
Yes,
like
this is
one.
called the bokuto.
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 Okay.
And it's a solid wooden sword. And it actually is a better representation of the Japanese sword, no? The katana. People more commonly know it as samurai.
Samurai. Is it proper? Is it correct to say samurai?
Well,
Yes.
no, katana is the more proper.
Samurai is the person.
Correct.
And katana is the sword.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
So it's almost the same dimensions, right? It has a curved blade, right? And the top part is dull, while the bottom is more sharp,
Yep.
right? And then, as you can see, it has a very long handle because it's meant to be held by two hands, right? And then there's we call this the tsuba, which protects the hand.
So kendo is really a double-handed martial. Do you ever use one hand?
Sometimes
It's
you
allowed.
use one hand. Yeah, because you can also use two swords, right?
Oh,
There's some
okay.
people who
Okay.
prefer to use two swords.
Two katanas.
Yes,
One is
either
short
two
and-
katanas or one short and one long one. So
Interesting.
when you have both, when you have two swords, then you need both hands.
Now
One-
for this is really for the forms, for the katas, no?
Yes,
These,
this one is
uh,
really for
the
form
katas,
practice.
Okay.
So-
Now this one.
Now this is called the shinai, and this is used for full contact
Okay.
sparring. It's made of 4 slats of bamboo, handmade, and it's constructed so that it's perfectly balanced.
It looks very intricately done, huh? Very
Yes.
intricate because he.
Yeah, see,
like-
it fits very well, no? And then the reason why it's got 4 slats of bamboo
Yeah.
is so that when you hit it, it softens the blow. It's not like a solid piece of
Oh
wood
yeah.
that you're hitting
Oh, yeah.
somebody.
And it bends. No?
Yeah,
Bamboo
yeah,
is
it bends.
pliable.
It's very
Unlike this thing,
pliable.
that's rigid solid.
Yeah,
so.
very rigid. So
Okay.
here it has what's called the string is called the tsuru,
Okay.
and the tsuru is just a representation of the top part of the sword. So you know which is the top side.
Oh, so
because-
it doesn't play any kind of like support. It really just is a guide.
well, it
This
helps.
string here.
It helps keep the sheath of the handle and,
Okay, okay.
connected to the sword, right?
Yeah.
And it's an indicator of the top part of the sword. Then you see here, of course, there's the tip of the sword is protected by leather, and then there's this nakayui, which marks the first 1/3 of the blade.
Okay.
The reason why this is here is because it's an indicator of the most lethal part of the sword. The Japanese sword, as you can see, is a slicing tool.
Yeah.
It's not like the European sword that's very heavy and
Hack
it's-
away.
Yeah, weight
Yeah.
plays a big deal. But here it's more about slashing. It's more of a slashing or slicing
And
tool.
in kendo, is this where you usually? This is
Yes.
what you use.
Yes.
Really,
And
this
the tip.
this tip.
This first 1/3 is the one that you need to hit the target with
Yeah.
in order to earn a point.
What if
right?
it's here? No.
It doesn't get a point.
So
right?
wow.
So it's only with this part of the
So
sword
even if
that
you,
hit.
let's say, you're able to hit someone in the head,
Yeah.
like it's one of the targets, and,
Right,
and
right.
it
It hits
just so
here.
happens that it's this portion here.
Yeah.
Nada.
Nada.
Nothing.
No, it
Right.
doesn't kill the person. There's no effect on the person if it's a real blade.
Yeah.
So
Right.
this is a representation. This represents the katana.
Yeah.
So everything we do is the way of the sword.
Yeah.
The learning
What
of
about
the sword.
holding the sword? You mentioned earlier off cam that there's a proper way to hold it, even when you're not, when you're not using it.
When, for example, like someone's teaching, we cannot disrespect. We have to respect the sword. This is in the olden days, the katana is the thing that protects the family. So they would hold this in high regard. So even in our dojo, or even in all kendo should be respectful of the sword too. We cannot step over the sword. For example, it's on the floor.
Yeah.
We cannot step over the sword, like walking and then we just step over. We can't. We have to go around the sword. And then you
Wow.
can't pick it up just haphazardly. Just, You have
There's
to
a proper way of picking it up and all
Yes.
that.
to the side, and then you kneel
You kneel.
down, and then you have to get it.
Careful.
Well, just learning all that will take a couple of sessions, right? Just the little intricacies, no?
And even listening to the teacher, you cannot just listen to the teacher while holding the sword just recklessly. You can't hold it this way. Can't hold it this way. Can't hold it this
No
way.
wonder. I get you now.
You can't
Yeah.
hold it this way because it's disrespectful. So there are only two ways to hold the sword while someone you're listening. It's this way, and then or this way.
You know, I mean, all this time you've been talking about respect and all that, how Kendo does this. But now
Yes.
that you've brought the sword out and showing me all the proper forms,
Right,
even in relaxation, no, and
Just
just
listening.
just shows me and shows the viewers really what we mean by developing respect. Now we're gonna demonstrate some of your moves. So I think that you guys are gonna put on your armor.
Yes,
Or
Ricky
I mean,
will.
put on your headgear.
Ricky will put on the full
Okay,
full gear, and
okay.
then I'll do the talking, so I
Okay.
won't put on my headgear.
So when you put on the headgear, what is this cloth that he's?
Okay, this is what's called the tenugi. It's a cloth. It's
Yeah.
very common cloth in Japan. They use it for all sorts of things. But in Kendo, we wrap it around our heads
Okay.
before we put on the headgear.
There is a way of putting it on.
Yes,
you
there's
just
there's
tie
a
it
couple
on.
of ways to
There's
tie it
really
on.
a set
Yeah,
way.
there's a way for kids to tie it on. There's a way for adults to tie it on. So what it does is it absorbs the sweat and it helps to keep the headgear in place.
You know, I can see how thick this headgear is. It must be hard to train in 36-degree heat.
Oh yeah,
Or
yeah.
38-degree Manila summer heat.
Very, very
that really is part of the discipline.
Yeah.
And there's also a proper way of tying it.
There's
And
a proper way of tying it. There's a length. It cannot be, after you've tied it, it cannot be longer than 40 centimeters.
amazing. Attention to detail. No, I can
Detail,
see how
yeah.
I mean, compared to other Japanese martial arts, this really is, I mean, like a real art form.
Yes,
It's just putting the gear on.
Right.
Okay.
And you have to put it on while you're kneeling. You cannot put it on while standing up. You have to kneel, and there's specific positions for the gear to be placed in.
Okay.
And
now,
when we're in practice,
Yeah.
there's like 20 of us, we all have to put it
At the
on
same time.
at the same time. Because once you put it on, theoretically, you become dangerous. You're armed. And then when we draw our swords, we all draw our swords together so that there's no fair advantage to anybody.
nice.
That's very critical.
Nice. Okay, Jojo, I'm gonna give you the floor. We have about 2 minutes and to show us your stuff.
Okay, so Ricky is now wearing the full armor. And again, what I just want to show you are the 4 basic strikes in Kendo. We're limited by space. So the first, when we confront each other in this stance. Okay, this is both an offensive and a defensive stance. And when we hit the head, for example, we call it men, right? We have to call out the target also when we hit it. So when we hit men. Did I just destroy your set?
No, it's okay. Wait. Is that
Okay.
how you do it during practice or even during fights?
Even during fights.
You have to call out the.
You have to
where you're
call
gonna
out,
hit.
men!
Really?
Yeah, you have to call out
Won't
the
he know
target.
then where you're gonna hit? I mean, if you
Well,
call it men.
by the time he hears it,
Oh, then
it's
it's too
already
late.
on. Yeah, it's too late. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Right, so that's men. It's a hit to the head.
Right,
Okay?
okay.
And then the second target is the hit to the wrist. So
Okay.
it's kote. Kote! Right? And as you see, as I told you earlier, you have to hit it with this
the
part of the sword.
edge, with the edge, with the tip.
Right,
Yeah.
with the tip of the sword.
Yeah.
Then the next target is do. Okay? Do is almost like a hit to the men, but instead of going for the head, you go do and you hit the side of the body. Now this is a diagonal hit.
Yeah.
And here's where you see another concept in Kendo called hasuji. You need to be able to hit this at the exact angle that the sword is moving. If you don't hit it at the right angle, it's not considered a point.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So very, very difficult call to make. Then finally, the last target is called the ski. It's a stab or a thrust to the throat. And this is usually reserved for higher level players. And it goes, ski!
Whoa.
Okay?
Whoa. Okay.
Again, ski! Okay? What it does, if you do it slowly and more appropriately, the stab is actually a thrust to the throat,
Yeah.
and then
Then you withdraw.
you withdraw it quickly to let the blood come out.
Well, and you're saying Kendo's not violent. I mean, this is a blood coming out thing and thrust in the
Well,
throat.
its roots are very, very violent. But
Well, guys, unfortunately, we've come to end the show. It goes by very fast. There's so many things I want to ask you guys, Pa, but hopefully we can do a follow-up when you have
Yes.
one of your events. But
Certainly.
quickly, before we go, maybe one of you can tell the audience where to find you guys and how to start. Let's
okay,
get interested.
as we mentioned earlier, we practice every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. at the YMCA Makati Gym. That's on Sacred Heart Street in Makati. Very, very close to the, just across the Sacred Heart Parish Church. No? every Saturday, if you'd like to watch or if you'd like to enroll in Kendo, please come and visit us.
5 to 7.
5 to 7 p.m.
Okay, last question. Any age restriction? No. I mean, seniors are okay. All ages open.
We start at 7 years old going up.
So,
There's no upper limit.
No limit. Good,
Yeah.
good. All right, guys, thank you so much. And you can also find them on Facebook. That's how I found them. Manila Kendo Club Philippines. I think.
Yes,
It
Manila
is.
Kendo Club Philippines.
Excellent. So, Ricky, thank you so much. Excellent job. And Georgia, my
Thank you,
pleasure.
buddy.
It's such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you.
All
So, guys, I hope you learned a lot about Kendo tonight. Join us in the next week in Philippines Uncut, where we talk about what matters to you guys, because you guys matter the most. I'll see you next week.